Hi, this video is going to show you how to use the dictionary entry for a noun, especially using the genitive form to find out about declension number and also about finding the root of the word so you can decline it. Alright, without further ado, let us get started. Alright, before we dive into the genitive in particular, I want to look at just what this different parts of a dictionary entry for a noun. This will not be the same for a verb or for other parts of speech, but just for a noun, this is what the dictionary entry is going to look like. First, you're going to have the nominative singular form. Now you're going to say, well, there's a UM ending. In the chapter, there's always a US or an A or something like that. In this case, I showed you this example on purpose because the UM does look accusative, but it can also be nominative singular here. And with this word, the UM is the nominative singular, and it's first in the dictionary entry. So you have to have faith that that first word is always the nominative singular form. Soxy here. And the second thing in the dictionary entry is always going to be genitive singular. Okay, so you have the first thing, nominative singular. Second thing, genitive singular. Now your third thing, right here, is the gender of the noun. In this case, you see that it is an N, which means it's probably neuter. Of course, a masculine would be an M, and a feminine would be an F, and you'll see examples of those in a second on the next page. So just hang in there. And then last, but certainly not least, the part that you all want to see is the English meaning, so that you can translate. Alright, so it's always going to go in that order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nominative singular, then genitive singular, then gender, then English meaning. Alright, so let's talk about the genitive a little bit. Alright, for the time being, we're pretty much done with the nominative case at the beginning of our dictionary. We're going to focus on these guys right here. These are the genitive singulars. Now, what you can do with this is determine the declension of the noun. And remember, the declension is that series of endings that the noun is going to follow. This is going to help you decide on which case something is, especially when you start getting into datives and genitives and things like that in your sentences. So this is very important. This is a very important skill to know. Alright, so we look at the process here. What you're going to do is look at the second word. Okay? What you're going to do is chop off the ending. Alright? Okay. What this does is shows you, okay, well, we have an I ending genitive. Now, which declension has an I ending genitive? Of course, you know that the second declension has the I ending genitive. You see the AE here. Well, the AE has the first declension genitive. Now, this is pretty easy usually with the US and the A, but you have to be careful because when you start getting to third declension, it starts getting a little more tricky, which is why I put the third example here. You see this US, so if you're not using the genitive form, you're going to think this is second. However, the rule is we use our genitive to determine the declension. We use the second one right here. Alright? So, what we need to do is then say, well, we have an IS genitive, which is odd, right? The IS genitive is a third. Therefore, this declension is third, not second. Alright? So be careful with that. And make sure you're using your genitive to determine the declension. Alright, so the second thing you're going to be able to do is find the root with the genitive form. And remember, the genitive form is this guy right here. Now, this is a lot easier than it might sound, because you already know how to chop off the ending from the last slide, where you just take the ending and separate it. Now, what you've just done is actually find the root, because everything that's not this IS ending, the REG part right here, that's your root. So in any noun, if you take the genitive and you chop off the ending, doesn't have to be a third declension, you chop off the ending, you're left with just the root, the REG. So the root here is REG. Now, you might ask why this is important. Well, in order to make the rest of the forms, you have to use the root. Rex is the nominative singular here, but all the other forms, other than the nominative singular, are going to start with the root and then add an ending. Alright, so that's how we have to find the root. We have to look at the genitive, chop off the IS, and then use that to form the rest of them. So it says give the accusative singular form. Well, we can determine from this that it's third declension. Because it has an IS ending in the genitive. We know our root is REG. So now we have to say, well, we have our root REG already written. We have to find the accusative singular of the third declension. And if we look at our chart, we'll know that that's the EM ending. And there you go. We just formed a word. Regem. Good stuff. Alright, so that concludes the video. If you have any questions, do email me or let me know. Thank you.